Hello, I'm Chris Underwood.
I'm Dan Salzer.
Welcome to Panther Rewind. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Panther Rewind as we take a look back at the week of sports in Plymouth State and the athletics. Swimming and diving placed 19th, 20th, and 19th overall in the three-day span that was the New England Championships. 121 points were allocated to the Panthers. Casey Allier placed first place in the 3-meter dive and also was named LEC Rookie of the Year. Panthers are graduating 2 seniors, and it was not the best year for them, Dan, but a lot to build off with the young team.
Absolutely. Had a lot of success here for swimming over the last few years. Look for them to grow it next year. Men's and women's skiing were in action at the Middlebury Carnival this past weekend on Friday and Saturday. On Friday, it was the slalom event, and on the men's side, senior Cairo Faro led the way with a season of 29th, leading the men to a 9th place finish. On the women's side, it was a tough outing for them as they were without their top 2 racers, and Freydis Eisendotter, who was skiing for Iceland, and Charlotte Lemgart skiing for Denmark in the World Championships in Sweden at St. Moritz. With that, Amelia Rowland led the way for the Panthers but suffered a DNF in her second run, and 5 other Panthers failed to qualify for their second runs, leaving the women in 13th place on Friday. On Saturday, in the giant slalom, both teams finished in 11th out of 13th place. Allie Price and Carl Kuss were the top finishers for the women's and men's side for the Panthers. Price had a season-best 20th place finish, with Kuss in 22nd on the men's side. The next event on the ISA calendar will be the ISA Championships and the Bates College Carnival this Friday and Saturday, February 24th and 5th at Sunday River.
Wrestling traveled to Western New England University, where Perrault, Pagliarulo, and Almond were all winners in their respective weight classes. All the wrestlers are expected to attend the New England Regionals this weekend at Roger Williams University for the New England Championships.
Men's and women's track and field were in action this past weekend, both at the New England D3 Championships. The women's meet was held at MIT, and it was a tough weekend for the Panthers, not scoring any points for the championship. Leading the way for the Panthers, though, Selena Belargian finished a 10th place in the shot put with a distance of 11.56 meters, about a meter short than her personal best this season. Deanna Perez finished 12th in the long jump with a distance of 5.11 meters, adding to her personal best and school record. On the men's side, their championship was being held at Tufts, and Sam Burnett led the way for the Panthers, having a 5th place finish in the men's mile with a time of 4:17.84. A couple of 12th place finishes for Plymouth State as well, as Isaiah Bolden in the 60-meter dash had a season best time of 7.17, and Eric Rosario in the 600-meter had a time of 1:24.10. In the field events, Derek Davies led the way for the Panthers in the pole vault with a 14th place finish at a height of 3.95 meters. Both the men's and women's team will be in action on Saturday, March 4th for the last chance qualifier at Tufts.
Women's basketball did beat the University of Southern Maine and Western Connecticut last week, but the biggest one was in the quarterfinal of the first round of the LEC playoffs, losing to Western Connecticut 59-42. Only one lead changed the entire game for Western Connecticut. They started off early and they put the pressure on, as Weiland was contained to only 9 points and 9 rebounds. Schmidt, 8 points, 10 rebounds to her credit. Miller helped out with 4 assists and 3 points. And Emerson came off the bench with 8 points, 1 assist, and 3 rebounds. Panthers only shot 30% from the floor. WestCon out-rebounded the Panthers and capitalized on all their opportunities. It was the best season for the Panthers in the LEC since 2003. Panthers are graduating 7 seniors, and Dan, there's going to be a big gap to fill for this Plymouth State team coming up in the future.
Absolutely, especially with Kayla Weiland down low in the post and those outside shooters. It's going to be a tough hole to fill, but they saw some growth with a lot of the young players this season, and hopefully they can continue the streak and improve on those 5 conference wins. For men, They also had a fantastic season in Little East Conference, posting their best finish in 12 years in 4th place in the LEC, earning them their first home playoff game in that 12-year span. This past Tuesday in the Little East quarterfinals, they took on number 5 UMass Boston, and our own Justin Saworski caught up with assistant coach Nick Hercules and got his take on this matchup.
Coach, you've seen this team a couple of times. You've split with them this year. The last time you've seen them at home, you lost in overtime 94-90. How big, with being able to turn around and beat a team you guys can play with, for a full 40 minutes and maybe, if not more.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. They're one of the best rebounding teams in the LEC. Their size, if you look at their size, they're not that big, but they can rebound the ball. And if we don't box them out, get a guy on them on both sides, then we're going to be in trouble.
In that game, Plymouth State got out to an early 7-1 lead before the Beacons pulled away and got ahead with a 10-9 lead 6.5 minutes into the first half and never looked back. In that game, senior Ernie Johnson had a game-high 15 points, while Jalen Reloy and Mike Osgood both recorded 12 points for Plymouth State. Jack Preston suffered down low, Chris, for Plymouth State, only scoring 6 points with 4 rebounds, and definitely their leading scorer really came up short in that game.
The Beacons contained Preston, and they played great defense. They're gonna be a tough task going throughout the rest of this LEC playoffs, but the Panthers, they did their best. Preston was kind of limited. Outside shooting was not there for the Panthers. There's a lot to build off, but it was a great season, as you said. Best season in 12 years. Something to hold your heads up, boys.
With that loss, Plymouth State ends the season with a 12-13 overall record, 6-8 in the Little East Conference as they fell to UMass Boston 61-57.
Women's hockey has dropped 3 of their last 4, but none bigger came on senior day as the Norwich Cadets came in and won 6-1. And it was a very dominating performance. Haley Brandovin with 1 assist and Fagan with 1 goal for her credit. Panthers went down early, could not step back. Altschuler and Lindquist both in net for the Panthers. And my partner, Joe LeBlanc, asked Coach Michael Hahn exactly what it took to try to beat the Cadets last game.
Just to relax a little bit. I think, it's obviously senior day, so it's a little bit tense there. A lot of emotions going on, and, back-to-back games, obviously there's no excuse, but, we got to be smarter. We have to take smarter plays. We got to take better lines to the puck and better lines on our forecheck, and, also get the puck in when we need to. I think sometimes we try to carry too much, and it doesn't allow us to, be smarter and not expend too much energy, and I think that's where we get caught up a little bit sometimes. Stay out for long shifts. We just got to be smarter, get the pucks to the right areas. I don't think that this team is an invincible team. We've been playing pretty well. This team comes out and plays hard, but I think if we get a couple chances here and we capitalize, we're going to make it a game.
Just talking about the Cadets, the Panthers are going to be taking on the Cadets this Saturday in the first round of the NEHC playoffs. Norwich ranked number 1, the Panthers ranked number 8. Could be a giant upset. We'll see what happens, Dan.
They've played well against them in this past, especially on the road early this year. Yes, the Panthers had that 4-2 loss, but played really close up until the last few minutes of that third period. So it will be a good one to watch this weekend on Saturday. More hockey to watch as men's ice hockey finished off the regular season with a 3-1 win and securing first place in the MASCAC tournament. As in that game, Sukaro, Ludwig Steenberg, and Michael Kovac all scored for Plymouth State. Evan Morelli in net continued his hot stretch, stopping 34-35 shots and finished the regular season with a 10-2-1 record with a 2.14 goals against average and a .922 save percentage. I was able to talk with head coach Craig Russell during the second intermission of their senior game versus Worcester State on Saturday and asked him what this team had to do to prepare going into the playoffs.
Really, tonight's about our seniors, plain and simple. We need to honor them. They've done so much for this program in their 4 years here. We're definitely not done. But tonight's a difficult night to play. Worcester's a difficult team to play against and have on senior night because of their style. So we've just got to kind of relax and not lose our focus, make sure that we're not trying to, we can't go heavy after any physical play along the wall. It seems like they're really calling those and anything around the net, and anytime we extend our stick in the neutral zone, they're calling those as well. So we've just got to be conscious of that and just keep our game going north. We've got to play a straight ahead game and not try to look east-west for plays and just get the puck down low and operate off of our forecheck. That's a strength of ours that I haven't really quite seen a lot of tonight other than the first 2 shifts of the game.
With that win at Westfield State on Tuesday, the Panthers finished the regular season with an 18-5-2 overall record, 16-1-1 in the MASCAC. But a tough loss for Plymouth State, as you can see, with the fight. They lose one of their top forwards and senior Baxter Strachan for 3-game suspension, as he's already served one of them, so he will not be eligible to return until the first round of the NCAAs if the team makes it. And with that first place finish in conference, Plymouth State secures that first round bye and will be straight to the semifinals.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for the Panthers. I mean, Stratton, he's a big guy. You're going to be losing a tough forward, but they have a lot of depth on that team, a lot of great scores. I mean, they can spread out the puck, spread out the entire ice. They're going to be a very dangerous team come playoff time.
Absolutely.
And you can catch the next game for the Panthers at home in the MASCAT semifinals, as the men's hockey team will be taking on either Fitchburg State or Worcester State here at Hanaway Rink. Puck is going to drop at 7 p.m. rather than 6 p.m. like usual. Panther pregame, however, will be at 6. That is a Pemmy Baker game of the week in the Plymouth local area.
That's going to do it for us on our second episode of Panther Rewind. We'll be joining us again middle of March as we'll take a look back at all of the winter sports and their final stats for their seasons, and then we'll preview all of the 4 Springs teams as they get set for action. Hopefully we'll have some home games when the snow melts.
I'm excited. Baseball season. Let's go.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Dan Salzer.
I'm Chris Underwood.
We'll see you next time on Panther Rewind.